Well, um, the last thing I want us to kind of do is just now that we've gone back and forth, just kind of do a little Q&A back, between each other. And I want you to tell the people, from you, what do you feel is the hardest part about running your own business?
Whew. The hardest part about running my own business, it's a couple things. One is time. Balancing a business, and I don't want to call it a side business because it's by no means a side business. But having a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, in my HR world since COVID has started, it's been 24/7. Having a 6-year-old, doing my Forex and cryptocurrency trading, plus this business, figuring out time is very hard, and figuring out a balance because I also got to sleep. I'm not a vampire. So yeah, balancing all that time is very hard. Another thing would be, it's just a lot sometimes. So that's the biggest thing, is just trying to figure out how to really just balance everything out. Like, you don't realize how much it is. So I even have a planner where I have to write all of it out, and I use different colors to kind of say, this is what I need to do this day, this is what I need to do that day, just so I can kind of stay afloat of what I have going on. Because again, I suffer from anxiety, so I have to plan those days of I'm gonna use candles, make candles and wax melts to calm down, and some days I'm just gonna put you some magnesium. So that's probably the biggest thing about having my own business.
Okay, now I agree with you. I'm like you, girl. I'm a planner anyway, but I have two totally different calendars for both of my businesses. So one is for YouTube channel, one is for my plug business, and it really helps me to lay out what I need to do on what day because of the things I want to put out and when I want to put out and how I want to roll things out. Like, you really have to plan that out on top of working a full-time job and everything, trying to work out, keep your skin clear, be healthy. Like, that's a lot. I'm saying, keep gas in my car. That's a lot.
That is a hard part, keeping gas in the car. You be like, I'm already down already?
Yeah, like, let me go now so I don't have to go in the morning, whatever.
But yes, being organized is a huge part of having your own business.
It is, and I totally agree. I think my major one is, I'm an introverted extrovert. A lot of people don't so, but I am. And I like alone time, and I like quiet time, and I like my peace. And, I can go weeks without being on the phone, without being on social media, whatever. But with a business, you cannot be like that. It's like my introverted self is forced to be extroverted. I'm forced to interact. I'm forced to get on social media and have that screen time because you're running a business. So you have to, so, and not that it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just not what I'm used to. So I think that's the major thing for me. So,
yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So tell us, what made you start your business? Start making candles.
All right. So let's see. My niece was born in 2017. So we had a baby shower for my sister. My sister is also an AKA. So when I'm thinking of her baby shower, I was thinking of different ways to really make her stand out for her baby shower gifts. So one thing I made was pink and green candles. So that actually went really, really big. I made 4-ounce candles and 10. And those were big hits that people were saying, oh, are you going to make candles? Like, you should make candles. And I'm like, I don't know. And then as I started going into the whole stage of finding out that I had anxiety, and making those candles were actually a big relief to kind of make them. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should make some candles. So when I first came out with candles, they were horrible. I had no clue what I was doing. I just knew, okay, melt the wax, add the fragrance, make it look nice, add some color, ta-da, candle. And I never knew nothing clearly. Going into it now, I'm like, okay, it has to be a certain temperature. I want to choose these wicks. I don't want to use color unless it's a custom order that someone's requesting it. Just because I want to use as less toxins because we're talking about being healthy. So also gotta be careful what you inhale
Mhm.
as well. So I try to find a lot of natural scents to use. I'm very careful with essential oils in my candles as well as my room sprays. I can put a little more into the room sprays. I have to be careful with essential oils and fire. So I tend to be very careful when I'm putting them
Yeah.
out. That's how I got started.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love your story. I think it's just so cool how you and a lot of other people, it's like you find what you personally can use in your life and how it
Hmm.
can improve your life and be a benefit to your life and provide that you build it and provide that and supply it to everybody else, and I think that's how a lot of
Hmm.
business began. So definitely I suggest and recommend people to look into that. Like if you want to start a business, you don't know where to start, whatever, look at what would make your life easier, what makes your quality of life better, what could you use right now. Like I've seen a lot of mommies think, build businesses off of something they were lacking as a mom, something they
Hmm.
use, while operating with their children, and boom, you got a business, So that supply and demand is definitely crucial, and a lot of people don't know what they need until you provide it for them, So be the person who thinks of, oh, man, you need this, And I bet a lot of people probably
Hmm.
realize that candles help with anxiety, and think about how much anxiety we have going on right now, So shout
Oh
out to you.
yes.
Yeah, shout out to you for
Well,
um,
you know what? I
starting.
actually have to shout out Lawanda's father. So my best friend Lawanda,
Okay.
I grew up in a single parent home. So I was always around my best friend Lawanda, and her dad is a House of Representatives. So we were always growing up thinking of what can we invent, what can we do, and he's always pushed us to
Mm,
never let go of that mindset of what can we do and what's a gap, because if there's a gap in something, that means something can be created. So he's always pushed that into me. So yeah, all my friends, all their parents are my parents. I soak up anything I can get from them. Wisdom is knowledge, so I take all of it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I love it, and I love that, and I love how he was that father figure to you as well.
Hmm.
We need that. I grew up in a single parent household as well, and we need that. We need that. So I thank you, Mr. Govan. Yeah, like yeah, that's amazing. And similar to you, where you were looking for something specific for your sister's baby shower, and that's how
Hmm.
was born. I had a friend whose mom was in the hospital, and me and him actually started a t-shirt business first. And just something about it just didn't click to me. Like it was no passion behind it for me. Like our message, definitely, but
Hmm.
t-shirts, that wasn't really my judge. I'm a fashion person, but I was like, so when his mom went to the hospital, I was building her a basket, and I was wanting to buy her a pair of mugs because I was going to stuff her basket with a bunch of herbal teas and like supplements and
Oh.
things to utilize, to get back to good health. So I'm looking around TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Dollar General, Family Dollar, everywhere for a plant, like a simple mug, Could not find it. Nothing. Everything was, I love my mom. I'm a teacher. I love my pets. This like I'm the boss. Like no. So that's what made me marry the two. And I'm a collector of mugs myself. I already have a cabinet full of mugs. But then I was like, I'm like, I know there's probably other people who would want a mug to say, certain things or to look a certain way or to have a design or whatever like that. So that's how mine was actually born. And I just started creating, and I'm already, I already work in the digital world and IT and web design and stuff like that. So it was nothing to me to just go on Photoshop and go ahead and start designing stuff. And I put it on a mug, and I'm like, I love this. I love it. When I got my first sample, I was like, that's it. Like this is the one. Like I fell in love, and I fell in love with my own product. So I'm hoping everybody else like it, but I do. I love it. So yeah. So that's how it's funny how we both have similar stories on how we started. Again,
Mhm.
when I first started, there was a gap.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a gap.
Yep.
So and we filled it. So damn, proved our own point.
But I love your story, how you can use the IT side of things and bring it all together with your passion. Like, that is
Yeah.
so cool.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. And that's one thing I want to say about both of us is it's not even about the dollar. It's not even about that. We clearly have stories behind what we're doing. Like yours came from your story and testimony of coming out of anxiety and attacks or your feelings and mine, honestly, the push behind my message and the designs that I create is based off of melanin, being black, changing the narrative, uplifting our generation, being unapologetic about who we are. If you look at the logo, it's the coffee shop, but coffee is it's synonymous. So you have the different shades of coffee, which also resemble the different shades of black people. So how I married the two with that, and it's gonna have melanin inspired designs, black art, black, statements, things like that, and things that we could use again to uplift our community, to network, to love on each other and support each other and things like that. So
Mhm.
we here. So yeah, I love I love it. I love it.
Yes.
I really do. And I really do thank you for your support in that too. But this is how you birth a new generation of businesses who work together. This is it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Because
um,
you have to remember, all these other cultures, they have no issues with supporting each other as far as their
no,
businesses.
mm-mm.
So, and I know we have a harder time starting our businesses, but yes, the support has to be there. We have to support each other. That's the only way we're going
Yeah,
to get better.
it is. I mean, think about it. You go to a nail salon, um, they all from the same house.
Yep.
9 times out of 10, they're all from the same house. It may be a cousin or two, but you may even see grandma in there. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Generations
Yep.
are in there, all working together. You know? And sooner or later, the one or whoever next in line gonna have their own salon, and they gonna have the
Mhm.
next generation of their. You know what I'm saying? We need to work together.
And don't forget the Chinese restaurant right next door to it.
It is all the time.
Yep.
Every time. Every time. I was
Yep.
driving on Notch and I saw the Vietnamese restaurant Pho Viet, right? Now, Pho Viet is downtown as well. However, it just popped up on Two Notch. So I was like, that's interesting. Next thing you know,
Mhm.
and next to it. Don't you think they got the same owner? Same owner. You got a laundromat, restaurant. How
Mm-hmm.
many can we have around here with our businesses, with our restaurants? A lot of y'all can cook. Where your restaurant, I know it takes a lot. I know it's easier said than done. But if we just
Mm-hmm.
make change and support each other, we can do this. We can have look at all the land that our people actually own in more country areas. All that land, all those farming and things like that, we can have our own farmers markets. We can have our own grocery stores. We can have our own gas
And
stations.
honestly, it was our families that were doing most of the farming.
It was. It was.
Like my grandparents didn't finish high school because they were farming.
Same.
So yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Same here. Yeah, my family is from Hemingway, South Carolina, and we own a lot of land down there, and they were working on it. But right now, it's like not being used. But think about all the land that we already own. We don't even have to go buy it. We already own them. If we just take the
Exactly.
time to pour into it, we could do so much. We could do so much. So,
Definitely.
um,
Definitely.
you said that's a word. I like that you brought that up. Hopefully, we
Mm-hmm.
can hear whoever looks at this. um, so, so what's next? What's next for simple wishes? Like you don't have to tell everything. Don't give away, But what's next for you?
What's next is right now I am working on some spring and summer scents. So what just hit recently was pineapple sage, which smells delicious. My 6-year-old
Wow.
tests out my room spray for me. She's my tester. So she loves
Okay.
pineapple sage. So that's one of the great things. I also have one that's white birch. So it's more of like pine
Okay.
tree. So if you're loving South Carolina pine trees, that'll be a scent for
Mm.
you. I also have Caribbean teakwood. Also, I think it's mulled chestnuts. So I'm working on some spring scents like plumeria, jasmine, things of that nature, giving me those floral scents. And then for the summertime, I got a little bit of different scents that's gonna really bring the island vibes because I want to be in a beach. And this
Ooh.
is my tester because
There could be a
it's very
tester.
important.
Let me the test.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very important to teach our kids about business.
Very
And
important.
yes,
It is.
uh, because eventually
Which
he
one
is
is
going.
your favorite?
What's your favorite?
Pineapple.
Oh, okay, the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Ooh.
pineapple one.
Okay. That's the one I'm gonna get. She's so
I
sweet.
know. Go ahead.
It's so crazy. I remember when she was first born.
Yes. So let me tell you exactly how deep this friendship goes. So when I was pregnant at the hospital, it was time. Like it was time. That day was gonna happen. It was my family as well as her dad's family in the waiting room. We probably took up most of the waiting room, and T was also there.
Yes.
So it was so funny because my family was like, "She's been here the whole time," and I was like, "What?" And y'all didn't bring her inside. I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "But it was so great to know that I had a friend out there that was just waiting, rooting for me to give birth, and I'm just so glad you can be a part of that experience." Granted, I couldn't really fully be in
Oh,
my right mind, but yeah, I was just so happy to know that you was out there, down for the ride. So thank you, and she
yeah.
for my baby shower.
Always. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Always. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Like that was my first real experience of like not seeing the birth, but seeing at least labor.
Mhm.
At one point, I think you were in pain. But then when I came in there, you were in there sucking on your lollipop, like, yeah. yeah, so I just I was like, oh, it's easy now. And I guess that's when it was like all of a sudden they were like, she crowning or something like that. And everybody, well, I left out the room or whatever. And I was like, she's literally having a baby right
Oh, yeah, you caught me after the epidural because
now. I
it got
did.
real in that room. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the plus
Yep.
is about Lexington Medical Center. They let you suck on Dum Dums. They let you eat icy pops because it helps
Yeah.
induce labor. Which I stopped once I realized how quickly it induces labor. I was like, oh no, this is causing more pain. Let me stop. So yeah, you caught me in a good. I was
Yeah.
feeling real good by then.
You were vibing, like you were just chilling. I was like, shoot, if it's that easy, I don't mind, But
Girl, I
yeah,
couldn't feel my
that's
legs afterwards.
yeah, well, y'all. No, like for real, that's friend for me. So, now, what advice would you give to someone who actually wants to start a business?
That's a very good question because I have another friend from college. She was supposed to start her business a couple months ago. And I just
Mm.
happened to talk to her about what I was doing. And I was like, speaking of, you haven't started your business yet. And she was like, yeah, I have a few issues with it. And I was like, what's the issues? And she was like, well, I'm it's a lot of fear. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. I was like, that's nothing new to starting a new business. I was like, the reason being is with fear means that you're about to go into uncharted water. You've never started a business before, so you don't know what to expect. Um, also, it's just a little nerve wracking because no one wants to fail. That is the biggest issue. No one wants to fail. You have that fear of failing, and that can sometimes hinder you from even starting and coming out the gate to see if you're going to win or lose. And so I was trying to talk to her before I even got on this podcast. Like we were talking all the way up until the podcast started. And I was just like, listen, we're
Wow.
gonna talk some more about it because I don't want you to stop what you're doing because of fear. She's trying to do something in the fashion industry and she's been helping me get my fashion together. And I'm like, you have to do this.
Okay.
Like you're really good at what you do, you got to do this for you because it's bothering her to not start, but she's fearful at the same time. So the biggest advice I can get is follow forward, push through. If it's something you really want to start, first thing to do is create a business plan. Um, if it's in your dream, you have to manifest it into a goal, and in order to give it a goal, you got to have some actions behind it. So the first action is going to be create that business plan. Um, you can Google a business plan. It can be a very, very basic business plan, but start with something. You have to start organized. If you don't have everything together, it's okay. Because with my candle business, like I said, I had no clue what I was doing. I'm so glad nobody's candles burned or badly or anything when I first started. I just put some color together, some fragrance. Like I wasn't even paying attention to how much fragrance I was throwing in there, and it's a specific amount that you're supposed to put in there. Who would ever thought?
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah, over the years I've grown, and I was explaining that to her. I was like, "Well, how you start off doesn't mean that that's how you're going to be next year. Doesn't mean that's how you're going to be 5 years from now." And look at all these big companies. Walmart didn't start off like that. McDonald's did not start off like that. Even your high end Gucci, Louis Vuitton, none of them started out where they're at now. And so you have to just push forward and say, okay, I'm going to start. Because once you start, you can say, okay, I need to make this change, and this change. Again, my first website was done by me. Did it look good? But it got me my sales. And as my sales kept increasing, I'm like, okay, I could take this money and get me a real person, get somebody to really do my website, get someone to really do my logos, because it takes away time. So let me get someone else to do it so I can have my time back. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. Just push forward, grow along the way. It's okay. It's okay. Um, and I I've been seeing a lot of posts lately about, oh, I can't shop at black owned business because of that one time. Let's not do that. It's one time. Try them again. Tell them what the
Yeah.
issues were. Try them again because a lot of them are just starting off. They have no knowledge of business. They are still growing in their business. So sometimes they just need to know what's not working for them. And once you give them that constructive feedback, if they're still fine and appreciates that feedback, shop again. I'm always like that. And I've been like that even in the HR space. If I see resumes that have horrible email addresses, like hot girl 05 on your resume, I'm gonna call you and say, hey, just a word of advice. I was reviewing your resume. Please change your email address. Go to Google, create a generic email, and use it specifically for applying for jobs because that can really take away from you getting hired. So yeah, a little constructive feedback ain't gonna hurt anyone. Like we are all we got, so we have to give each other feedback. So sorry, that was my soapbox. I could go into a whole thing about that.
You did that. Love, like you said it. You said it. It's like I agree 100%, and I'm so glad you said what you said. That is great. First, piggyback off of you. My advice would be to just start. Just start. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a passion, if it's deep in here, like you said, if it's your dream, if it's your vision, God gave you a vision for something, or if you just felt it in your spirit that this is an avenue that you need to um, embrace and embark upon, just
Mm-hmm.
do. It. You may be scared. It may be uncomfortable, but just do it. Just do it. A lot of people feel like
Mm-hmm.
you have to have everything 100% perfect before you can start. No, you start exactly where you are, and that gives yourself room to grow. You'll look back and like, wow, like look at how much I've accomplished, and no matter how much time it is, but either way, you're growing. So that's the first part of it. Like, allow yourself to grow. Allow that time. Allow that those improvements and just the growth, personal growth, professional growth, whatever it is. Allow yourself that and just start. Just do it. You have nothing to lose at all. Just do it. Just do it. And just to piggyback off of something that Chanel spoke about, I think we absolutely have to start offering grace to each other. A lot of times we're so quick to cut people off. We're so quick to never shop at a business again, or second, don't you deserve a second chance sometimes? Don't you sometimes you're ignorant to things and you don't, you know what I'm saying? We have to offer grace and be more graceful towards each other. This is one of the mechanisms that keeps us down um, and not growing and moving forward and progressing is because we don't even allow each other the opportunity to grow. Because it's like if 100 people are shopping with this one shop, and let's say 50 people had a horrible experience and they never come back. Okay, now this person only got 50 people, and y'all don't even tell this person or this business what's wrong. They don't know. So they may end up losing the other 50. You know what I'm saying? So like you said,
Yep.
we have to learn to be graceful and to offer constructive criticism as well as being able to accept it. Be able to accept it. Don't be too hard on yourself, but allow your consumers, your customers to let you know what's working for your audience. What's and make changes
Mm-hmm.
accordingly. So I love that you said that. So I agree. I agree. So last question would be, what is your tip to business owners, those who own a business right now? What would be your tip to them?
My tip for business owners that own a business now is to get a business coach. I've had my business for almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in June. And again, the amount that she has taught me from December to February is phenomenal. Budgeting, making sure I'm extra organized, going live to get to those customers. Like she still has like different challenges for us to go through, and I love that about her. And she's holding me accountable every step of the way. Um, Even my pop up shops, I
I
used to
love
go
it.
to every single pop up shop there was, and she was like, "No, you pouring so much money into your pop up shops, but did you make the profit?" I was like, "Oh, no."
Mhm.
So she said, "Yeah, we're not going to do all of them." And so it's really
Mhm.
good to have someone on the outside looking in to say, okay, this is what you need to do differently in order for you to keep continuously growing. And she said, because I told her that my goal is to eventually have a storefront where people can actually sit and pour their own candles. Like literally, sip and pour. Sip,
Ooh.
pour. Make your own candles, make your own room sprays.
Girl, I had to cut that out. I want to your idea.
Yeah, so that's always been my own vision, is to have that there, as well as, since I would have a storefront, I wanted to have my products as well as have a whole corner of just products from other Black owned businesses locally. That's always been my vision. So she said in order to get to that vision, there's some other things I needed to put in place. So it's good to talk to someone else who's already grown a business, grown businesses, to help me figure that out as well.
That's awesome. And I can't wait until you get your stuff right. You're going to get it. You're going to make it. You're going to get it. And we're going to be in there pouring candles and doing all kinds of stuff. I love it. I'm so and I can't wait. I cannot wait. That's awesome vision. I love it.
Put your mugs in there, girl.
Yes. I'm here for it. I love that. Shoot. And I know I've only been a business owner for 2 seconds, and I know how people talk like, oh, now she thinks she's an expert, blah, blah, blah. Y'all don't do that. Don't do that.
You got experience.
Yeah. And really the only tip I would give, honestly, is to invest in yourself. You believe in your product, you believe in your service, invest in yourself, and make sure you're top quality. I'm talking to myself as well, but invest. You're going to have to put something out, put money in order to gain the profit and the benefits of what you're growing, what you're building. So invest in yourself. So that would be my tip. To invest in yourself.
That's a great.
Yeah.
That's a great.
That is our business talk, minding our Black businesses. That is our business talk for today. Thank you so much, Chanel, for joining.
No problem. I'm so glad that you invited me. And I'm looking at this list that I got, and I know I still have more Black-owned businesses that are in this area. My child's father has his own business, so we got a video, I believe, that can capture all these businesses. So stay tuned.
Yeah, y'all. Thanks for watching our talk, our discussion here, and listening to us go back and forth on our personal favorite, or some of our personal favorite Black-owned businesses and brands. You'll see the link for the rest of the Black-owned businesses that you should check out, and all the descriptions will be down below of their websites, Instagrams, and everything. So all the information will be available to you. So there you go. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.
Thank you.